Hi all, I'm going to make the same folder 2 times in a row. Let me tell you what I'm going to be working on. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Midori journals. This is something that I use all the time. And the size of the items that are on the inside is similar to my notebook. So just show you really quick, we'll do a measurement. Have a ruler here, do a measurement. This is 4 inches by 8 inches. I do know that some people make their Midoris like 4.5 or something, but this one is 4 inches by 8 inches. You can find all the specs for whatever size you want to make your Midori out of, but it's important for me to know the size I'm going to be making is 4 by 8. Why does that matter? Because I'm going to take this one folder that is a hanging folder, like the kind you put. It's a legal size, and I'll tell you the length of that. It's a little bit more. It's 14 3/4. From bottom to top, it's 9 1/4. But I'm just going to get straight to it. Hi, Jean Peter. I'm just going to get straight to it. And you can use a letter opener for this. Please be careful and don't cut towards yourself. And what you're trying to do is peel off this fabulous part right here. So it looks like this, because you're going to end up using that. Now you don't have to use it right now, so you could just cut it if you want to. Hey there, Shelly. So for right now, I'm going to cut it, but well, no, I'm just going to do this real quick. So there's a little hole in here that holds these sharp points, okay? So you want to get your scissors in there. Do not put your hand in front of it. You want to get your scissors in there and just gradually work to separate the glue. And I'll show you real quick. It'll separate the glue and expose the sharp thing on the inside, which is a little bit dangerous. Hey there, Darla. So watch your fingers when you're pulling out the part that goes in inside. You don't want to be running your thumb along there. I say this because I have cut myself doing that. It's okay if you run your scissors through that as well. And it's okay if you tear it. Oh, it happens. Because you use it in bits and pieces in your art anyway. And one of the things I love about creating is stretching myself to use everyday products in my art, and I love, love, love the look of hanging folders. So now all the hardest, if you're watching this, you actually don't have a legal size one in the kit if you are getting the kit that you're requesting for next month. If you're an angel and you got that kit this month, it's not a legal size, it's a regular size hanging folder, but you can always just put it in your wish list for a legal size hanging folder, and I'll make that happen because I do have a personal stash of way more than anyone should have of hanging folders. So, I know, right? It's so sharp. This part right here, it's not razor blade sharp, but it is pretty darn sharp. All right, so just be careful when you're taking it off. And we're not even getting to the good, oh, I love when it goes smoothly like this one. Okay, if yours doesn't go this smoothly, it's nothing you're doing wrong. It's just sometimes they go that smooth. It's lovely when that happens. Even more lovely when it happens on camera. That's truly one of my happy things to do. One of my favorite things in the world is actually making journals. The everyday stuff, the original intention of the journals. Okay, so now you see it. Just like this. But for me personally, it's easier to take these out when the folder is full size, and then I come back and cut it. For today, I'm going to cut it. Let me see. Yeah. Let's see. Hold your britches. I got to stand up for this. That was me knocking over my garbage can. I am a klutz. Okay. You don't need a fancy ruler like this. You really don't. You can use scissors, but I can't cut a straight line to save my booty. So I'm going to try to show it to you 2 different ways. One way is by cutting this off and reusing what you cut off. The other way is leaving it on. So that's why I'm going to show you how to make this folder 2 different ways. Hey there, Alice. Okay. So let's just take this little baby today. Carefully. You can do sharp objects or rotary trimmers not your reach. Ask for a large crafting mat versus some of the ones we've given are like 9 by 12. I would encourage at least a 12 by 12 for your crafting mat if you do these. Do you guys see me move my ruler? Don't worry about it. You can hide anything you make as a mistake with your art. It just turns it into something prettier. Okay, now it's going to be hard to keep you on camera here. You can see these two pieces are now removed, and all you have left is the main part of your file folder. You're ready for the good stuff. First, you find out where your 8 inches is. And for those of you who need measurements, I have it currently opened to where it is 16.5 inches wide. And I have it currently where it's almost 15 inches tall. So it's 14.75 inches tall. So that's what you see. So I want to lift it up just a little bit and crease it at 8 inches. Do I have my little creaser thinger? No, I don't. Oh, I do. I have it nearby, but a lot of you don't have it. So I'll just do it this way. So I'm folding it in half on its normal fold. That might help you more. You want to get to your 8-inch mark. Okay. So if I go to my 8-inch mark, and I'm going to count from this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-inch mark. Look how much extra space you have. Isn't that lovely? And that's because my Midori only needs to be 8 inches before we fold up that beautiful envelope. Okay, or whatever we want to call it. Okay, so where's my little ruler? And everybody who is a artist, if you don't have one, I'm going to say this all the time, you guys are going to get sick of hearing it, but a bone folder. I use a bone folder for scoring. I often score like this even though I have a scoreboard, because it's what I have at my desk all the time. I'm just going to score it there. And that's just my guide on where I need to score it. If you want to, you can open it up and score it long ways. If you don't, just measure it twice and score it on the other side. To keep it straight, I'll open it up and make sure I follow that same line. So move all my shenanigans out of the way. Go to my line here. Make sure I give my bone folder a little bit of space beyond the 8 because it's thicker than normal. Oh, I didn't even see Cat come in. And score it all the way across. That's the hardest part for me, is scoring this first fold. So now you can see, once I can get it to fold, I have this lovely beginning of a folder. Well, wow, that is way more than you need. There's your original fold. You fold it back and forth if you so feel. Okay, it's way more than you need. Now, before I get started, this will help you out a little bit. Before I get started, I want to show you something. When you have a regular folder, oh, I don't have one with me, do I? Oh, I do. I'm just going to cheat a little. When you have a regular folder, it looks like this. Oh, it's not one of those. Okay. It normally has a little V shape there. It's to keep the bulk from being bulky on the inside. Dagnabbit, I thought it was in there like that. So forget that. Okay. So we're going to cut a little teeny V on the short side. So you see that there's an 8-inch side, and then there's a side that's 1.25 inches shorter than the 8-inch side. So you want to open it back up and fold it over, right? So now you're on the original fold of how the hanging folder used to hang, with your imaginary little top right here. You're on that original fold. So what you want to do is just take your scissors and trim, and no, you do not have to be exact. No one needs to be exact on this trim. Okay, so it's easier if I trim it and then show you, and then fold it back and show you where I trimmed it. So you can see I just cut out the bulk into the middle. Now, Personally, I do prefer to have a little niche cut out of both sides, just it's a personal preference. And so I'll show you that when we get to the end. But for now, I just want to show you how this turns into a folder right quick. Okay. You have the folder side on this side. Now you have none of the fold on this side. What you're looking to do is, remember, we told you that our folder, this is our middle, if you can't see the seam, you want to count 4 inches over, because my Midori is 8 inches by 4 inches. If your Midori, some people make them this way and sell them this way, is 4.5 inches, then please count to whatever your width is for your Midori, because it'll still work. So I'm going to my 4-inch mark. Are you ready for this? All you gotta do is take however you choose to score. You know, some people measure it from the center, put a little mark, and then use your ruler on the mark on both the top and the bottom. Me, I'm just an eyeballer. So I just score it 4 inches from the middle point. Then I'm going from the middle point. Do not do it from the edge, because sometimes you'll wiggy yourself out. So now from the middle point again, here's my middle point, and I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I know this is rudimentary, but we are dealing with me. I'm a rudimentary crafter. So I count a lot when I'm crafting, even if I'm talking to myself. So I score this one. So now what do you have? You have your middle fold and a score at 4 inches here. Well, why does that matter? Because I want to score it, right? So we're going to take your little score mark and pinch, line it up, and yes, it's not all the way down, but it is fine. And you guys are going, oh no, you're going over the seam. Do not fret. You're going to use the extra space, and it's going to make you happy. So I score it. Look at me doing it with my fingers when we have a bone folder sitting right next to me. Then I flip it around. And then I find my 4-inch mark here. I'm going to score it on this side just the same. I could have done one in advance, but I figured I would do it together with you guys. There we go. You guys all have your favorite way to score things. You know, making fun of the way I do it. All right, there we go. Now, what do we have? Something that's starting to look like a pocket folder, right? Do you see it? Are you starting to see that it's a pocket folder? Okay. Well, you will in a second, because now I have, this is where it lifts up and you have the wedge. Now you see why I wanted to show you the wedge first. So close your wedge, close your little score mark, and put it there. Your little wings are going to hang over, no big deal. You want to fold it over. So now it should look like this. Okay. So what's next? You're going to add another pocket. That is what's next. So now what you do is you fold it over one more time. Now, do you care where you fold it over at? It's up to you if you care or not where you fold it over at. I personally like this pocket to be able to hold at least a few inches. Okay? Some people may prefer to have it fold this way and just not use this side at all. Now, I'm not one of those some people. So I want to just take this and fold it one more time. Right? And I am folding it, for those of you who need a measurement, it's 1.5 inches. Okay? So now for those of you who need a measurement, you are going to score this at 1.5 inches from the left and 1.5 inches from the right. I suppose I should do it actually 1.5 inches versus my typical go figure it out moment. You know, I am the Wing It Crafter. I apologize. That's why I never call my videos tutorials. And you're done there. Oh my gosh, you're starting to see it come together, are you not? Make sure I have a nice seam. And you guys know you see this, right? It's about the size of putting a pencil in something. So if you're using a Midori notebook, then give yourself some bubble space. You don't want to full on seal this if you want it to be a regular pencil. But if you're using it for flat things, it's a good little spot for flat things. Well, you know what I didn't bring? Oh, there it is. Double-sided stick tape. Only because personally I normally use glue. It's way more durable than double-sided stick tape. But because it's on film, it's so much easier to show you this. Okay? So now we're going to come back to what we used before. But before we do that, I don't want to glue it down. You can see now you're starting to get the feel for all your pockets. Here's pocket number 1. Ready? When you open this up, here is pocket number 2. You can choose to make it pocket number 3 this way. If you do, give yourself bubble space. But I normally just put a little something right here. And so then I just have a little pocket up top to tuck little things into, and then something to tuck stuff in there and here. Okay? Talking about it. And we're going to do it. Okay, you ready? Everything's scored. Open it all the way back up again to the giant piece. This is just cosmetics. This part is optional. This is that seam right here where you scored just knocking stuff off my desk. This is that seam that you just cut off so you don't have bulk. Cosmetically, I like to just fold it in half and take a little chunk off. I do. And for those of you who need it perfect, that wasn't perfect. So give me a second. I'll make it perfect. We'll be all happy. I can't do perfect to save my life. Look at that. It's still a little crooked. Do you see that? It's because I squished it. It's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. We'll do it with scissors. There we go. Now it's perfect. Now it's happy. So what am I talking about? Now you see it has that little wedge taken out and a little doohickey triangle right there. You've got it. It's looking like a folder. You've got it here and it's looking like a folder. If you want a little slit, I strongly encourage this. If you have an X-Acto knife, you can draw yourself on the inside so no one sees it. You can draw yourself the cutest little thing. I'm just going to use this as my line. Okay. Go up about the size of a business card. Think about it like that. Oh, I'll just use look at that. I can just use a credit card. That'll work. All right. So I've got a little line. Do not go all the way to the inside. Do not go all the way to the other line. And you are right next to where the cut is. Just draw a little line right there. That's it. Just a little line. Then you want to go down just a smidgen. And for those of you who need measurements, 1/4 of an inch-ish. And you put another little mark here. I'm only going to do it on one side because once you get it on one side, you can do it on the other. And then you connect those 2 lines. I'll zoom you in and show. You just draw that. Do you see how you want to give yourself some space on this side and some space on that side? Then you take your X-Acto knife or your scissors if you're good at scissors. And you cut out that little section. Make sure nothing's underneath your paper, as I've cut a few things in the past like that. And I should have my glasses on for this part. But it'll be fine because no one can see the lines on the other side anyway. And you just take that part right there, cut it out, make sure you have all your cut lines done. What am I missing? Little section there. Don't cut towards yourself. I say as I cut towards myself. Okay, and then you want to cut that other. Oh, did I just not get that part? Must not have. Yes, X-Acto knives scare me. They do. Okay, we're done. Closing the lid. tightening the knife, closing the lid. Okay. Done. Done. Look, isn't it pretty? It looks so professional. Okay. This one has a little thingy right there, but man, don't you love it when you have a circle punch? Okay, I'm going to circle punch one side like this. If you're a artist and you don't have a circle punch, that's okay, because you can just take your other side. And now remember, look, I want to show you this. You're looking at this right here. You didn't circle punch up here. You circle punched in this segment. Call this segment 1, call this segment 2. You circle punched segment 2. Now over from the right, ignore this one. You want to circle punch this side. If you don't have a circle punch, ain't nothing but a chicken wing. All you gotta do is just do like a little half circle. And if they're not perfect, who cares? It's on opposite sides anyway. So you can see a little half circle right there. It says, hey, I'm a pocket, put stuff in me. Okay, so then you're done with that part. But you're not done. Personally, I like to put a little circle right here because I like to use it as a pocket. And I'm going to show you really quick where I put my circles and why I put them there. So just want to keep you on the same page. You're on the left side on the front. Okay. If you're looking at it, and we're going to call this segment 1 again. If you're looking at segment 1, I want to put one little half circle here. And I want to put a tiny little half circle on this edge because I want to make this pocket different. Every time I make these these little pockets, I make them a little bit different. So all I'm going to do is take my circle punch, cut out a little bit of a corner there because that's where I want to put it. This one, I'll cut out a little bit there. And I don't have to worry about being centered because all I got to do is put my double-sided stick tape wherever I want it here. And when I put it there, it'll be centered enough. Okay, on this side, let's make it different. Let's go ahead and make it a long pocket. Just a long pocket like that, which means I don't need a circle punch at all. Okay, so with that said, now we're going to do where you're going to put the glue, and this does matter. Okay, you're also going to pull this handy dandy happy thing back out. Why? Because I want to show you it's one of the coolest ways to make your pockets, because you don't lose pocket space with your glue and it matches. Isn't that cool? Now, if you really wanted to have some fun with it, you could put it inside out like this. So it looks like it's this color. Ignore my little green marks. You could put it inside out, do all your folds, double check your folds, make sure everything's in the places you want them to be. Look, there's a little wonky going on right there. That's because you guys know I'm a little bit wonky, but it's okay. I'm not stressed about it. Okay. And on this side, right there. And look at that. Now it looks all cool, because when you use this to close that pocket, you have a difference of color. Isn't that nice? I like it. Okay, I'm going to use it the other way because I don't want my purple showing, and I'll probably use this in my own little Midori. So you ready? First, we're going to fold it in the middle, just like this. Then we're going to fold back at our 4-inch mark. This one looks like he's done, right? Okay, yep, so let me lie about that for a second. First, we're going to fold it in the middle, but now we're actually going to plan on where we put our tape. Tape 1. There's a seam right here at 1.5 inches. You want to put your tape right at the top part where the 1.5 inches is. Here. If you want to and you don't want to use tape, don't be afraid to use this. It looks good. It's happy right there. and it doesn't impact your space. I just personally don't like the look of that, but if you like the look of that, then that's what you do. So then I'm going to put the other one right here. And I like to try to put all my tapes on before I glue anything, just to make sure I do it in the right spot. Okay, so now I'm looking at it here, and I'm going to want to put tape on the inside next to my half circle here. Okay, this again is the one I kept referring as section 1. So I'm going to open it up a little bit, go to section 1. This is my 1.5 inch mark, and I just want to put a little bit of tape right there. And as close of a straight line as my brain can do, which isn't always true. Do I have to put tape anywhere else? No, I really don't. Just tape right there. Because once I put the tape right there, it stays. These two are going to be fine right here. This one will be fine right there. That's going to be a pocket. That's going to be a pocket. This is going to be one pocket, one big long pocket. Okay. This one doesn't need any tape. Doesn't need anything because the fold over of the paper holds it closed. This one doesn't need anything because the fold over of the paper holds it closed. This one doesn't need anything, and this one doesn't. But this one does. This last one right here. This is the one where we're going to use this to close it over. You can use whatever you want. In fact, if you use a different kind of paper, then see if I have, oh, I don't have my scraps on this table. There we go. If you use a different kind of paper, then all you're going to do is just use less of it, right? You really only need about 1 inch, but in this case, I like to use the whole thing because it looks pretty. Okay. So I go in here, I look at how much I need, and I eyeball it. I'll measure it for those of you who need measurements here in a second. So I eyeball it. Let me measure it, tell you where I eyeballed it to. 6 3/4 is where I eyeballed it. So for those of you who are wondering, how long do I cut my piece? 6 3/4. Nope, it was the other one. 6 3/4 on this piece right here. Now, me personally, I typically like it to be angled in a little bit. I just like that look. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it up at an angle a little bit. Like that, so it's not perfectly straight. And I'll do it on the other side. And so you're asking at which angle, and I'll show you. If you were to open it up, it comes to an arrow, not a V. See, it comes to an arrow, not a V. That's the angle. You want to cut from the outside of your fold inwards and shorter to the open part. Okay? Oh, my birthday month is actually September. My hubsy's birthday month is August, which is why I like to kind of take August off, and I'm so grateful for the hop doing that. Now I have to tell you, I know I'm going to be using this, so my little Fanny really, really, really wants to use glue, but I'll use glue off screen. For now, I'll just use this. And for those of you in other countries who were just offended by my word Fanny, I use it in the American sense. Oh, I need to give you a sword, do I not? Oh my gosh. I need to fix all that. Okay, we're ready to attach these. Are you guys ready for that? Okay, this side is ready to be attached. So however you attach things that makes you happy, that's what you should do here. Okay, I usually like to have my fold in place before I attach it. Okay, I want my fold in place. And eyeball it. And when I say my fold in place, do you see I didn't have it all straightened out this way? And part of that is because when you have something folded, the paper on here will pull away just a little bit from your edge, and you won't even notice that. Okay? And you can't even see. Do you see? It blends right in. Your seam is right here. I'll draw it on for you just so you can see, because it's going to be hidden anyway. Look at that. It just looks so good. I just drew it on in a squiggle so you can see where the seam is right there. But wait, it does get better because you're gonna have even more pockets. You're not done yet. Where's my little stuff? Here we go. So I have that one there. The top of my pocket is all the way at the top this time, just like last time. Do you see that? But now, because sometimes I'll put stuff in there about the size of a card. Let's see how many cards I can fit. 1, 2, not 3, so I'm just going to make it 2 pockets. And no, they don't have to be perfect. For those of you who need measurements, put your tape at your 1/4 inch mark on both sides, and then in the middle, right around your 4-inch mark. Okay? So I'm going to take my 3 pieces of tape off. And then I'm going to close that up. And don't worry if you joined late. I'm actually going to do this here in a jiffy a second time. Okay? So now, for those of you who like to put stuff in pockets, you can see my little, oops, it's not centered. Never centered. It's supposed to be at 4 inches. But you can see that you can fit stuff here and here, but it can't be longer than the card right there, right? So let's just mess with this card a little bit. Let's assume you have a pretty little something you wanted to put in there and it fits like that. And you have a pretty little something that wants to fit in there and it fits like that. And then you have a pocket right here. And these things aren't falling out. So you can put important stuff in there because that's how I use my Midori, is important stuff. So we're counting now. So we have 1, 2, 3 pockets here. Close that. If you wanted to, when it's closed, you could actually do something else with this pocket if you wanted to. Okay. But when this open, it's in your Midori book like this, right? So this is how your thing is going to open, like this, and then it flips out. When it's open, you have a pocket here, another little pocket there. Almost looks like a vest, doesn't it? And then you have a matching pocket right here. You could have made it however you wanted to. And in this case, let's go ahead and remove the tape. Carefully attach it, because we all know I'm not all that careful. And here is this pocket right there. Now, if you want to be cute, you could actually tuck this in this way, but this never really works for me because I feel like I'm losing this section. If you want to be really cute, we'll change up the next one. We'll make it similar, and then I'll show you all the 50 ways well, not literally 50, but I'll show you more ways you can change it. Okay, so we've got this one. We're going to tape you down. If you don't like how it shows something, just cut this little baby to size where you want to. Where it's at. There you go. Cut this little baby to size and cover it up if you want to. For me, I don't want to. Okay, and this one is going to be 1 long pocket. Now I'm going to have to make sure that I don't have anything private in here, so give me a second to be off screen. Taking out the private stuff because, like I said, this is my active book. Okay, so here is where I'm going to put it, and I'm going to show you that your lovely finished Midori folder, when you put it in like the vest side up. Slide it into its little spot. I would take this off, but I did it in an envelope, so I can't really do that. Slide it in its little spot, and then it folds out this way. You can hide stuff here. You could add a pocket here if you want to. Close this up. We You have this, and this pops out, and you can add a pocket here too, right here, if you want to, but I like to leave it blank. And then if you want to fold this in, if it's your last page, it doesn't hurt a thing, and you can leave it nice and blank and clean on the last page. And that's it. And it fits beautifully and perfectly inside of your Midori because of that. And this is upcycled leather, and it has really lasted over the years, many years now. I think I made this in 2013. But yeah, that's it. That's your Midori size single legal size folder. Now, if it's not a legal size folder and you only have letter, it's fine. The only thing you don't get is this high fold right here. It just all comes down shorter for you. That's it. So close this baby up, and we are going to make it really quick next time because I'm sitting on my foot and my foot fell asleep. So I'm going to leave that in there. Are you getting a loud hum? Wow, that would be horrible. I don't even know what that would be. Oh, literally foot completely asleep. Remind me not to sit on my foot. Can't even feel the toes. So I only used one of these, which is awesome, because in the next one, I'll show you how you can even use these to make yourself the happy little pockets. If I feel like it. I don't know. I don't always feel like it. So it's however we're going to make it. You can do the same thing with manila folders. Look for the legal size manila folders. Again, if you're a artist and you want office supplies like this for these kinds of projects, just let me know. Oh, and this was our only waste. And you know what? It's really not waste because you could put them in those open spaces and make them pockets. Oh, look at that. That I forgot, you cut out the half circles. So I have 4 little half circles. And then the 2 triangles, which could also be tuck spots, but I don't really want a tuck spot. Ooh. Definitely leg falling asleep. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out these metal pieces like we did before. Okay. All I'm going to do is be as careful as I can. Please don't cut yourself or anybody else for that matter. A letter opener does not work for me. I cut through this top side all the time with a letter opener, so that's why I tend to use scissors with a dull edge. If you're wondering why I'm using my dull scissors for this. And then, yes, this will happen to you sometimes. So when you're taking them off and it rips right here, just take your little finger, not too far in, and accept the rip and love that things distressed look better anyway. I'm going to go a little bit faster with this one. Okay, what we want to do is take this guy out because this is what can really hurt you. And be super careful when you're taking it out. Sometimes they're serious about the glue they use. The ends are really not that bad. And if somebody has a crafty use for these things, let me know. I already threw away all of them for when I made all of the kits because they're just too risky on the I'm gonna hurt myself because they're sharp on the edges. And by the way, if you're chatting in chat and you have something, oh, I'm sorry, Grin and Ferret. I wish I knew what the hum was, because I don't even have the air conditioner up in this spot. I mean, it could be coming from a computer. Yeah, no air conditioner, nothing. Be careful not to grab the sides. Yes, I'm using an external microphone. I can change the microphone to the other one, see if it makes a difference, and then you'll know. Yeah, just so you guys know. It is this microphone. So it shouldn't have a hum. We're going to testing. Done. Okay. That's all I'm going to do. So have this open again, but we're going to leave these on this time, even though it's going to break my heart a little bit. I'm going to show you that we're going to try to use them. You have a little notepad, but it'd have to be covered with paper. That's for sure. That would definitely be short. Okay. So you ready for this? Where are we going to fold it? 8 inches down from the top. Okay. So let me think about this project in the terms of those who need measurements. So I'm going to put a little note right at the top here. We're going to fold it here at your 8-inch mark. Okay. That's my midpoint. This right here, just to make it easier for you guys to see it. I don't mind drawing on this. That's the middle fold that always, oh, you can't even see it. That's the middle fold that always comes naturally in your hanging folder. It's the bottom. Okay. That's funny. The better sound is coming from the camera than the microphone. Okay. So now we're going to go 4 inches, which for those of you who need the measurements can do it this way. You know, take your ruler, mark your little number 4. Take your ruler, mark your little number 4, and then do those little marks. Okay, and the same thing on this side. So you measure your little 4 inches. And 4 inches again. And then use your ruler to put your little marks. Okay, so it's faint, but you can see it. Those are your main folds. Now, the only rules you really have is you can't have this length be longer than 4 inches because otherwise it won't fit in your Midori. This will be too long. That's what matters. Okay, so we're going to get creative. I'm just going to go with whatever my brain feels like doing. After I make my primary folds, which are the center one, this one, and the one that folds up at the 8 inches. So let's do this on the primary folds. You guys are gonna laugh at me on it. I got to get these unsafe things out of my place. We'll do that another time. Okay, here's my primary fold right there. Make sure I'm nice and square if I can. And fold up. You're going to fold however you're going to fold, and yes, I fold a little weird. Show the primary fold. It's a happy thing. Ooh, I'm going to like this one. What did I do with my bone folder? There it is. I do like that though. Now I'm going to cut my little V, and don't forget we're going to cut the little Y part out of it too. We're just going to do both of those right now because that's what we like. So I'm just going to take my regular scissors, cut the little Y part first, or the V part, I guess you want to say. And now I'm going to cut the smaller V just because that's how I like it. Okay. And you don't need to cut past the fold, but you do need to cut to the fold. And all you're doing is taking the bulk out. So you have these left over as scraps. You're going to fold it up. Now what you need is your little 4-inch marker line, right? Remember that? So take your ruler, or however you do your scoring, make sure it's all nice and lined up, and fold it. flip it over and do the same thing. Find your spots and fold it up. Okay, now you really don't want it folded inside unless you want it folded inside, right? So that's what we're going to do right now is we're going to just fold this part inside. And I'm going to fold this part inside as well. Like I said before, we don't care how much of it is folded. So we're going to make it this time something fun. I haven't decided how fun yet. I'm deciding right now. Yeah. So whatever our rule is, we want it to be less than 4 inches. Last time we made it 1.5 inches. This time, I'm not going to count past this thing. Okay. So I'm only counting to here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches left over from there. So if that's the case, let's give it 3 inches. Okay. So from the center, you have 4 inches, and I'm counting over 3 more inches. Center to center, 3 more inches. And now you see what I mean by each one can be a little bit different. So I'm going to show you something real quick, is you do not need this part right here. So I'm going to cut off this part right here and at an angle because I love angles. Does that make sense? Right there, you can see your little angle. I do want this little angle to match up here just because. So I'm going to cut from down to the corner, and mine never match exactly. So if you need yours to match exactly, you can use that little corner. Okay. So now this is going to be your little pocket closure on this one, but we do have too much up here. So all I'm going to do is cut a little bit more off of that. And I don't need him there, but I can use him on this side. Yeah, I'll just leave him there. You might want to tuck a little something right there. So that's fine. So while I'm thinking about it, I'll put my tape at the top. That way I remember what I was doing. And I'll put my tape at the bottom. And he's happy right there. This one here is just going to be a couple of simple pockets. Like that. And all I need is a piece of tape right here. Preferably glue for those of you who really like things to be durable. At least until somebody finds one. How do you find everything with all the pockets? Oh, yeah. I know, right? I love all the pockets, though. All right, see, this works so nicely like that. And then, again, you can push it to the outside, or if you're like me, you sometimes want it to be on the inside because I like stuff to not fall out. So, and then you don't have too much bulk right here. So on this side, let's do something different. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Still thinking about it. Okay, so I do know now. So I know at least I'm going to cut this portion off. And we'll use this one the opposite way we did the other one. Don't cut towards yourself like I just did. Okay, like that. So this will close off the pocket, and you really don't need as much stuff right here. But I love love the look of changing things up a little bit, right? So let's do something fun right here to give it some character. So all I want to do is just eyeball it. Think about it, decide what I want to do. If you need to measure it, use your little wedge. For those of you who need to measure it, then use your little wedge, draw the little wedge, and then cut that out. For me, I'm okay with just carving out a little wedge. And we'll design it around our little wedge. Okay. So then if that's the case, then I want to do this. So I'm going to cut down the line. I'm going to grab my extra piece of this and measure how long it needs to be from here to here. And my form of measurement is drawing a line. I'll measure it for you guys in a second. 6.5 inches. So you need 6.5 inches of your leftover shenanigans from the edge. And then what you want is cut it towards the fold. So at an angle. The fold's the widest part, like an arrow. Oh, that makes sense. So what you're going to do in here is actually use this to slide stuff into and out of. Now, for me personally, I think it's too big. I do. I think it's too big. So let's just take this, cut it in half again. Nobody needs to see it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Cut it in half again, and then I'm going to score it down the middle. Okay. So I just want to fold it in half because I firmly believe that it was just too wide to do what I wanted to do with it. And everything to me burnishes. Do the same thing with your other strip of that 6.5 inch piece and fold it in half. The more I talk, the more my head hurts. And oh, so that's good to know that there's no more humming, which means I can pretty much just use the camera instead of the microphone, which is crazy. Yeah. So what am I doing? Oh, I'm using the end of my double-sided stick tape. I have Hobby Lobby premium double-sided stick tape, $1.49. By the way, I saved these. Ooh, I don't have much time left. Let's get going. It says battery running low. Okay, so I'm going to do this real quick. If it cuts off, that's going to stink. Let's just apply it as fast as we can and get done before my battery dies on you, because the charger's downstairs. Can't believe how fast this burns the battery. Now you want to try to get kind of close to the edge here. And you want to face the opening, like there's your V on this side. You want to face the opening like this, okay? So it's easier for me on the wider piece. And I want to attach it right here, right along the edge as best I can. Everybody knows as best I can means it's going to go over a little bit, and it did. Dagnabbit, that's going to be a thingy. Push it in, fix your fold, it'll be fine. Okay, here, as best I can, I'm going to, so now you guys see it's a pocket right there, and it's got a little gusset there. This one, we're going to do the same thing, but I need it right here too. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to take this off. And we're going to do this one a little differently. This one, we're going to line up next to the line.
If I could do a straight line. Oh, goodness. Okay. Line it up next to the line there. And glue it to the paper here, just to show you there's 100 different ways. Oh, look, I put the tape right there. Yeah, it'll be fine. But if I wouldn't have put the tape right there, you could have put it on the outside right here. But I did, so I'm not gonna. It is what it is. So now I'm just gonna fold it down. And it's gonna be its own little world. And when it folds like this. Just to show you that even if you don't have a good edge, you can use these things underneath for your folds. And I do like to have a little rounded corner here just because. It doesn't reach, so it's fine. I'll just go like this. And my only purpose there was just to show you that you can just use it that way. It didn't come out very well, but it is what it is. This one is going to be attached here. And then we're going to fold it around here. Okay. Ooh, we can fold it this way. Make it a little bit longer. That's what we'll do. So it did end up looking very similar to the other one. Darn it, the head just didn't come up with a great answer. So double-sided stick tape. All you need is right here. Make sure, nope. So I'm going to attach it here and down the edge. So you're going to get a nice pocket. I'm going to attach it down at the bottom. And on this edge, and then take it off. Attach it on this part. And so essentially all I've done is attach these edges on the left and right, and that's it, just on the left and right. Because now you've made your pocket a little bit wider. There's a little sticky here, so use whatever your dusting powder is to get rid of that. Okay, so let's go back to our card. We'll show you a pocket here. It's about to die on you. Oh.